If you build a physical wall to stop a specific shape, a new shape will slip right through. For decades, cybersecurity relied almost entirely on this rigid checkpoint model. It was an architecture defined by hardware. Firewalls and static rule sets guarded the perimeter of large, centralized on-premise servers. Security engineers deployed intrusion detection systems, or IDS, which scanned incoming traffic against a database of known threats. If a piece of code didn't perfectly match a documented signature, the system let it pass. Finding out if something unknown slipped past meant relying on periodic manual audits. Human analysts had to physically comb through logs and trace the network activity hours or even days after an event occurred. This created a permanent lag in defense. By forcing security teams to react to threats only after they executed, the hardware-first model practically guaranteed a breach. But as artificial intelligence integrates into network infrastructure, the concept of a rigid perimeter dissolves. We now operate inside a vast, decentralized web. This creates a condition of asymmetric warfare. Attackers utilize automated algorithms to probe networks millions of times a second, effortlessly outscaling any static defense. The old borders are completely gone. Data now lives across cloud environments and remote endpoints, exposing vulnerabilities far beyond the traditional server room. Without a central lock to pick, malicious actors no longer need to break hardware. They manipulate the people accessing the network. The battlefield has moved from defending physical systems to defending human intelligence. It is an active war between competing algorithms, where human identity and trust serve as the primary attack surface. Attackers deploy algorithms for automated target discovery, sweeping an enterprise network to find vulnerabilities in APIs. Once mapped, an autonomous script instantly forces entry. No human hacker needed. They also weaponize security, triggering a flood of authentication requests to eventually force a frustrated user to click Approve. Inside the network, adaptive malware learns the environment, rewriting its own code to mimic authorized traffic and evade detection. When digital methods hit a roadblock, adversaries synthesize audio of a CEO or executive, cloning their exact tone and cadence to verbally instruct an employee to execute a transfer. By flawlessly exploiting human trust and cognitive fatigue, these automated offensives render any defense relying on human speed verification completely obsolete. To counter an autonomous threat, the defensive architecture must become predictive, wrapping the entire network in a zero-trust tracking mesh. Security teams deploy extended detection and response to map behavioral baselines, tracking when, where, and how a user interacts. If a valid credential suddenly logs in from a new continent, the system flags the mathematical anomaly and instantly quarantines the node. The era of the weekly audit is dead. Defensive infrastructure demands continuous, real-time monitoring across on-premise servers, cloud deployments, and every connected API. When a threat is detected, the algorithm initiates real-time policy adjustments. It pushes new security rules across all endpoints, effectively self-healing the network before the malware can spread. Instead of waiting to react to a known exploit, the defense now matches the adversary's scale by predicting the next mathematical anomaly in the network's behavior. But a purely autonomous defense introduces its own severe risks. Handing an algorithm complete control over access and remediation can lead to catastrophic system misconfigurations, or leave you vulnerable to data poisoning, where attackers slowly alter the system's training data. These complexities multiply as remote work decentralizes the perimeter, constantly blurring the lines between secure corporate environments and vulnerable home networks. Consider shadow IT. An employee seeking convenience plugs an unauthorized wireless router into the corporate network. The automated system instantly flags this hardware as an anomaly, but the algorithm cannot converse with the employee or fix the operational breakdown that caused them to bypass protocol. The technology provides flawless visibility, but it entirely lacks the contextual logic required to resolve internal policy failures. This is where human oversight remains critical. Organizations must establish strict governance frameworks, like ISO 42001, to explicitly define exactly how and when their algorithms are permitted to make autonomous decisions. They employ privilege access management to ensure no single user, even the IT administrators, holds unchecked access, minimizing the internal blast radius of any compromised account. Security must be baked directly into the daily workflow. That means running continuous behavioral training programs for everyone on the payroll, from entry-level staff to the executive board. Because at this speed and scale, an active breach is inevitable. The goal transitions from preventing every single intrusion to building cyber resilience, the capacity to seamlessly adapt, outpredict, and rapidly recover while under attack. Absolute security is an illusion. The mandate is to build an intelligent, governed architecture that absorbs the blow, learns, and survives the adversary.